Hello everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Titan Week!
It's the big one on Cantent.
Cantent. You should go to subscribestar.com/Cantent and pledge $10 for bonus episodes and get this nifty shirt I'm wearing right here. If you survive Titan Week, which you will, if you buy it, presumably. What's that?
Run for your lives! It's Titan Week!
Hey kids, want to impress your friends and induce sexual arousal in your neighbors? Cantent t-shirts!
Wow, I've never been more impressed in my life with anything.
Cantent now has official t-shirt merchandise, and you can get yourself some by clicking below the video or in the Teespring link in the description. With designs like the classic Cantent logo.
Or this.
I've got a shirt on too.
Or this. Cantent! And right now, get yourself the I Survived Titan Week t-shirt. Unless you don't want to survive Titan Week, but hey, that's between you and Jesus. They're a great way to support the show and share your Cantent pride. So get out there, wear them, and get into Cantent. Cantent!
まずいねこれは。なんだこの女。ここまで接近されたら白人戦の方が有利。
Here it is. We're back. More episodes. 7, 8, 9. That's what happened.
This was truly
Nuts.
fight the big guy.
This was the big guy. The advent of the big Titan is what we
The
see.
biggest guy of them all. The biggest guy yet.
Yeah, bigger than the colossal Titan, like twice the size.
2 times as big.
That's very, very large.
Can't get any more big guy than that.
All right, let's run down the events because we're getting into the deep lore. Lots of fucking things are happening. Jesus Christ. But I'm loving the forward momentum acceleration towards things being achieved. Progress. Basement. Are we going to get to the basement? It looks like we're going to get there not
Holy
too long
shit,
from now.
it could happen.
I bet within season 3, but I guess we'll fucking find out. Okay, so first thing that happens, as I recall, is we're gonna give Historia the needle. King Man is all like, yo, Historia, I need you to be a Titan and to eat Eren, because here's the deal. We get the full backstory of the founding Titan. So, we're just learning everything about how this world was formed, why the world exists as it is. So 100 years ago, when the world was formed, there was one Titan, this guy, the founding Titan, the first King Rhys or whatever, who had the power that Eren has right now of the scream, the cry, the coordinator powers, whatever it is. And we already know the walls are made of Titans. Like that blue crystal thing they're in the basement is made of clear, like, Titan hardening power stuff.
Oh, of course.
So, like, that place and the walls are made of Titans that were clearly controlled by the king to make this little insular kingdom. Now, we still do not know why that king chose to do that.
Other than that,
Yeah.
specifically, he thought it was the only way to achieve true peace.
That's the element right there.
Human subjugation by Titan is peace, according to whoever.
This is what they're saying.
So that's the real great mystery, is why was
Right.
this peaceful by comparison to whatever was before?
And I have no doubt that's going to be the next front. What was this king working in opposition of? What was the threat that was being...
Who were the anti-spirals?
Who are the anti-spirals? Because we know that there are Titans outside the walls. There always have been, wandering around. So, like, is it just safety from the other Titans? But he could control the Titans, though. So it can't just be some Titan-based threat. It's got to be something beyond that. Anti-spirals, anti-Titans. Maybe they're really small people, and they're the real nemesis. Oh, shit. They're so small that you can't squish them when you try to step on them. I guess we'll get into all that stuff. But, man, like the backstory here of, I love the way this is all presented. So, I mean, this is somewhere in these combination of episodes where we're given the information of, like, the king himself, Rod Reese, says, like, Historia asks the question, if you want me to become a Titan, eat Eren, and, like, live the destiny of the royal family, okay, quick question, why is it over the last 100 years everyone in my position with that power did not at any one moment like tear down the walls and set everybody free and control the only threat that the walls prevent against, the Titans, if they had that power. And like, we don't know the answer. Rod doesn't know the answer, but he says because now when you eat another Titan, you get at least some of their memories. You get important stuff. And this is one of the important things about the founding Titan. You gain some higher level knowledge or information when you get that. Rod's brother got it, and as soon as he got the power or the knowledge or whatever, he stopped asking like why it is we can't do it. He just knew for some god
I get the
level
feeling
reason.
I know the answer.
What's your theory?
One word: Halloween.
It really sums up everything there was to say on the subject. I'm going to just leave it to others to speculate because we're charging along. But Eren here, well, there's a big fight that happens, but Eren just like develops the ability to reliably harden now. So that power is the thing we were looking for to retake Wall Maria.
He eats a hardening potion, I guess, and now he can harden. He used TM.
Yeah, and now he can just do it. They'd been testing it for a long time to get him to harden. He could not do it, but now he can.
He ate a bottle labeled armor.
Which
that he
is
found around.
very convenient.
Leads to a lot of questions, though. Like, are there more
Are there more
power-ups?
powers? Yeah.
Are we
that's-
going to get to
yeah.
a point where he's like Bioshock injecting himself with various things to do?
I'm going to say if there aren't more potions, then I'm going to have to really pull the lever of this was really narratively convenient, considering hardening is the thing needed to retake the wall, go to the basement. That's like our hook. We retake the wall so we can get to the fucking basement.
Thank God someone brought up, because there had been a couple moments here where I was starting to like lose track of, wait, what was the plot of this show before?
Right.
Right. Plug Wall Maria.
Yes,
Wall
that's
Maria
right.
got breached at the very start. The whole thing has just been, let's try to plug this wall back up so we can advance back out into the area we had before.
Yep.
In
Yep.
Eren's mind, this will give him the opportunity to figure out what's in his basement, which may or may not be the key to everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can start fighting back outside the
Aggressive
walls,
battles
originally.
outward, yeah.
Yeah.
And Aaron's asking the question of like, will I really, is that it? We're just going to retake Wall Maria and then we're calling it a done deal? I don't think so. So,
Well, the season opened with, we didn't mention this, a scene of him. It didn't show the ocean, but it is implied that he is standing at the ocean as he
Right,
thinks,
right.
I always wondered about this here ocean, but I also had to wonder what's beyond it.
you see, he's not even satisfied finding the ocean. He wants to know everything, which that's the entrepreneurial spirit that I respect about Eren. He's never satisfied. What a mad lad.
But I feel like the theme of this season is like the secrets behind the secrets, basically.
yeah.
And we've learned some of the secrets behind the secrets we already knew, but now there's even more secrets behind those secrets. So we're getting to secrets bedrock here. But it's just interesting to think that so much of what was being set up as like the truth holders have kind of been outed. Like
Yeah.
we thought it was like the king and the nobility and all these corrupt people, but it seems like even they don't quite know what they're doing or why.
Rod himself says, I don't know. Like, the people who get the power of the Titan, they know. But that right now, that person doesn't exist. Maybe it would, I guess it would be if Historia ate Eren. This is the thing. She would obtain that information again. And, I mean, she was almost going to do it, but then she starts questioning and thinking, like, I got some other ideas about how we're going to approach this situation.
And her dad had told her, because she also asked him, why don't you become the Titan and
Right.
eat Eren? And he's like, I can't become, or he says like, I shouldn't, or something like that. Like, if anyone tells you I should be Titan, they're wrong, is basically what he tells her.
And I didn't get a satisfactory answer as to specifically why that is.
I have to assume it's because he turns into the thing he turns into when he does.
He does do this and then do this. So that wasn't good. But is this that bad?
He's a big
I,
no-face. I mean,
I don't really know.
it didn't seem like he had much grasp on his sanity or anything.
I'm wondering how much of this process was corrupted by the fact that he literally like licked it off the floor. Is the logic that if you get a drop, you get it all? Or is the logic that, he got like a shitty batch because it was like dirt in there or something? I mean, I would just love someone to clarify if it's, because he's such a weird fucked up Titan that we've never seen before. Is that the thing that like, I can't become the Titan or else I'll be this monster.
Right.
Which I still ask, but why would he become that monster?
And why would that be a problem for him? These are all questions. we
Yeah,
haven't
like
yet.
if you could still command Titans just as effectively in this form, really, what's the difference? I mean, it's very conspicuous, but doesn't seem like a major problem.
What else did we learn down in that there cave? We had a whole scene of Kenny.
Well, yeah, first of all, I don't want to short sell how in episode 7, the battle in the smoke, when they first break
yeah.
into the underground,
That was cool.
fight was the sickest fight possibly in the entire show so far for me. Where our characters, I was actually thinking to myself tactically, all right, our characters are breaking into an underground fortress with one entrance with all the enemy's gun pointed at the door. How are they going to do that? And I was delighted to see they don't just charge in and instantly all get blocked. They push in a bunch of exploding barrels that create smoke. So there's mystery, and by creating smoke, they overcome like the distance advantage that the enemies have with guns. So now their swords can be used.
It also turns out that the enemies have this really overlooked design flaw in their mechanisms. That the gun and the grappling hook are both facing the same direction on the same device. So you cannot shoot something in the direction where you're grapple, or you can't like turn your gun if you're grappling.
Whereas
with it.
our characters, they're attached to the waist on our guys, so their arms are totally free when they're
So
fighting.
we're told this in a moment when someone's like, fucking somebody up. But then we have a moment where one of the enemies points their gun hook at
Hanji.
Hanji,
yeah.
and fires for some reason the hook
Instead of the
instead of the
bullets.
gun, which allows her to cause just enough damage to take Hanji out of the fight, but not for me to be concerned about her health or safety in any way.
Yeah.
If she's pointing the thing, it means she could have fired either one. And they would have equally hit.
Maybe if we went back and double checked, we'd see that because there's the thing when Kenny shoots, he has to reload. Maybe she had shot it. But we shouldn't forget, the narrator chose to write the character in that moment with having spent her bullets, not reloaded, 2 seconds later. That makes a major difference narratively to the fate of Hanji in this case. And it was written to allow Hanji to still be a character, which I'm delighted because I like Hanji a lot.
I
but,
guess, I don't know if maybe the author just thought like, well, somebody needs to at least get injured here. So
because
some
nobody
kind of
died
stakes.
in this insane raid, like 35 against like 10 people. No one died on our team. Very, very unusual for an Attack on Titan fight.
Well,
but,
it was an odd feeling because as it was going on, around halfway into the fight, I was like, what if someone died right here? That'd be pretty wild. Like, what if Connie just bites it now? But no. I think I said this back in season 2 that we finally made it to a point where it would actually be more shocking if main characters died than if they didn't again, which is a good place to be for this show.
It's true, and I'm attached to the characters. I like all of them, and I enjoyed the little moment in here where. Having been foreshadowed at the beginning of season 3 here, like Jean, Connie, Sasha, like everybody, they kill their like first human in this fight, and so they're now, their hands are stained with blood, but hopefully it's for a good cause. But that, kind of foreshadowing back to that in this big battle that really fucking matters. Pretty great scene, and just the animation of the whole thing, some of the best.
It was pretty good. Then we had the scene where, again, Kenny, he finds out that he himself, I guess he had been playing along with all this under the assumption he could obtain the Titan power, and he finds out he can't, so he threatens the king and is just like, you fucking old piece of shit, how dare you, and he's just like, well, what are you gonna do about it?
There's been a couple mentions of Kenny's dream that like the other, like his squad members have mentioned. And I think the idea must be that Kenny thought that he would steal like the coordinator power from the king, and then he would be the one to, I guess, probably do what Aaron's thinking. I mean, what other dream is there other than the freedom that they all crave for in this society? Because Kenny's always like, you expect me just to go die, like you've relieved me of duty. No, that's pussy shit. I want meaning and purpose in my life. And so, presumably he was going to steal it. And, Aaron is able to use the coordinator powers. He doesn't have like the upper knowledge, I guess, that Historia would have or something.
This is something that really requires clarification for me, is like, what can he do?
Yeah.
Because can he control all Titans at all times?
We're shown he cannot control at least this shifter guy, it seems. Yeah.
So, like, I mean, could he just be standing up on a wall somewhere, just telling Titans to fuck off every time they come near? Like,
It's possible.
I just don't understand what is his limitation that's preventing him from stopping all Titans from attacking or whatever.
You know, while that's a great question, I think most people watching are like aching to get an answer to. Like, we've just been focused completely elsewhere for the last, 9 episodes or whatever. But I'm hoping we'll get to that in like the next leg of episodes. Because think of all the good that Eren could do at any given point.
Right.
Any place.
Well, and like this is the first time I think that they really even clarified that it was something he knew about and could do whenever. Because like we saw him do it incidentally before. I don't think we ever saw him like training it and like making a point of turning away Titans. And it just kind of seems like, I mean, granted, we have had almost no Titan fights until this one for a while. So maybe there just hasn't. Maybe this is why. Maybe he's been turning them all away. Just was weird that it was suggested that was like a thing that they've been testing out only at the moment when they were like, oh, well, we tried to have him use coordinator powers on the big thing and it didn't work. And I was like, well, I didn't know he was just doing that. Like,
yeah, I mean, I guess we're just being informed that they're trying that as well. So, yeah, we really don't know the limits.
I guess,
so
I guess I'm just saying I would have liked to see a lot of like playing around with that power. I wanted to see them, like in Code Geass when he tests out the gas on everybody at school.
Right.
For like a whole episode. That would have been a nice thing to have for the coordinator power.
Yep. It's just that, like, logistically, when you're writing the narrative, Eren needs to be, like, near Titans to do that, and nothing has, like, brought him particularly close, I guess, since then.
They could have just
They
gone
could
out
have
and
gone
found
out
some
to the
Titans
wall.
to fuck with,
You're right. So that would have been nice to include just at some point, I guess. But, I don't know, I guess it's inferred. Rod says this other thing in here during the big underground, like, Historia, I need you to, become the Awakened Titan coordinator, the founding Titan, or whatever. He talks about how, like, he doesn't know what the goal here is exactly, like, why the walls are necessary if they can control Titans. But there's this idea of, like, he says, like, I want to bring God back into the world.
Oh, yeah.
Historia writes that, she's like, oh, you're just, like, using religion to justify control or something. I'm not convinced that that's all that implies. That seems like a very mean, considering like the imagery we see in like the opening is in EDs, all that weird godlike shit.
Very religious.
What is going on with that?
Specifically, he wanted to bring God back in the world and pray to it.
Yeah.
Assuming, I guess, that he's, it seemed like he'd already given up on this life and is just gambling on the next one, basically.
Yeah, it seems that way.
But yeah, she's like, fuck you. I will damn humanity and save my friend. I'm the worst.
Big anime speech.
Because Kenny had cut Eren's forehead open and been like, look, he can fight now. And she's like, I don't even want to fight. And then her dad's like, fuck it, and goes big man.
Oh, you know what? Actually, that was a great sequence of events. I'm glad you mentioned it, where the whole idea here is that Eren has been informed now that his dad stole the power from the Reese family, and they have the power to control the Titans. Eren has like some form, but clearly not as much, and it isn't as effective. So while we talked about how Historia realizes there's more to the story here, that it isn't that simple. Eren is now grappling with at least the possibility that if his dad hadn't stole the power from the Reese family, then like, it's possible they could have maybe not like they couldn't have like been freed and conquered the world, but at a minimum they could have plugged the hole like long ago and at least lived their like quiet little life here in a way better way.
Assumably the previous Ultimate Titan girl, she would have been capable of plugging the hole, is what his
good old Freedy. So. That emotional little arc of Eren, just like accepting death. This is such a change for Eren.
Literally saying, eat me. Like, I like the part where he says that even though he hated Titans so much, when he gained the power, he was like excited about it because he was just like so excited to have power, have like something telling him, oh, I can beat the Titans because I have something special about me. And then he kind of realizes like, actually, I've just been acting like an arrogant prick ever since then, kind of. Just like assuming that I could do something about all this, when in reality, I might have been part of the problem, or it might have been that it could just be fixed by getting rid of me, more easily.
Yeah.
So he's just like, fuck it, do it. And then she's like, but no.
Well, I like the whole dynamic going on here of how Eren is, through that dealing with maybe sometimes it's better if like one person dies, if that specific death could save, millions and billions of people. It's an uncomfortable calculation, but like military leaders and presidents and kings need to think in such terms sometimes. But the way he is feeling empowered by like looking down at these kids who reminds him of him, Armin, and Mikasa when they were kids, and being like, okay, we're the soldiers now. We've prepared ourselves. Maybe me being a Titan, it's a tool, but really there's just more to the story of we're prepared now to take action and take the world back. Him going in this span of episodes from feeling totally like he's the one responsible for everything to getting his resolve back and feeling like, okay, I can make positive changes. I'm not the main character of the world. I'm just some fucking guy who happened to be given these powers by my dad, who knew a lot more than I know. But I really just like that little arc he gets of that logical progression of his whole goal was to just help humanity and have freedom. And if he himself was the obstacle to that, he would hate himself more than anybody. So I just really like that emotional arc there.
巨人だ
Big guy transforms in cave. Cave starts coming down, kills all Kenny's people with the cave falling. And Eren turns into Titan mode, makes a big freeze barrier that protects him and his buddies. And then this thing just like charges off Calamity Ganon to go fuck up some shit. And
to the closest place where there's lots of people.
Luckily, it seems to be a lot slower than horses.
Yep.
So our team has the longest conversation of my life on horseback that I may have passed out a little bit during. What were they talking about on this long-ass horse ride?
I mean, just some of the stuff that we summarized. Some of the emotional, like, back and forth that characters are feeling. Like, that's where Eren, like, starts to feel better about himself. And, like, Historia is grappling with, like, I used to feel really bad about not having a father. So Eren, when you were in there, like, I must tell you, Eren, I was going to kill you just because it made me feel like I was doing what my father wanted. So just for, like, personal validation, blah, 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 female emotional stuff. I don't give a shit, bro. Get back to killing the fucking Titans. It was fine. But
When she kills her dad, she's like, this is the first fight I've had with my dad.
Coincidentally, so when they finally fight the big Titan, which was, again, a pretty good sequence with some great animation cuts, this thing was hideous CG for much of the time. But when they actually do the good cuts, the close-ups like this one.
I mean, it's a hideous monster one way or another. So I didn't even mind the CG because I thought like it was appropriate for the disgustingness of this. Look, it dragged its face until it had no face.
I really like that detail. You know, I'd seen this image around before, and I mean, I think I'd heard somewhere, but it starts off with a face. It's just that it drags itself over such a long distance that its face and its entire, like, frontal chest region is just stripped clean. So when it leans over the walls, its fucking intestines and organs fall out and literally crush and kill people. Not even, like, intentionally smacking them like a Titan would or whatever. Like, I love those kind of details. That was really cool, like,
it's the only real
design.
damage it actually got to do to anybody was just spilling its guts on them.
Because luckily our heroes had enough time to, like, prepare a bunch of bombs and weapons and stuff to fuck them up.
I have a very strong feeling that this battle here is the calm before the storm, so to speak. Because there was something odd to me about the way this was all going, in that when Eren saves all his friends, we get one of the first shots we've had in a while of everybody on the team lined up against the wall. And they all then go to the wall, they're following the big Titan, and there was a moment as everybody's converging on one spot that I was like, is this actually all that's happening in the show right now? Because, you know, not in like a complainy way, but Attack on Titan is super complicated. There's usually a bunch of shit being hinted at that is happening somewhere that we're not sure about.
Just like previous episodes, there were like 5 different political factions doing different semi-related operations, but now that's
all that
past.
Stuff got checked off so quickly that it's kind of like, okay, it seems like everybody who's relevant is on the same team. Like, we're not really, like, whatever conspiracy we're worried about is higher level than anyone we've seen so far really seems to understand. We're not fighting random Titans right now. There's not a new breach in the wall. We're not fighting the other faction of altereds of
Like
people.
Reiner and those guys.
Yeah, those guys
yeah.
have been fucked off for a while. We know there's a Titan village somewhere out there that
Yep,
those guys come
yep.
from. Don't know nothing about it. So like, all that's really going on for once is just fight the big guy. One big guy is coming. What are we gonna do about it? And they win kind of easily,
Yeah,
considering
yeah.
that like most of the time a battle in this show is like 19 episodes of trying to fight like 3 guys, and this is like, you know, they just blow them up.
And also with 0 casualties.
Yeah,
0.
well, except for the ones with the guts fell on.
Oh, I get miscellaneous other soldiers
Right.
do die, but of our characters, I meant to say 0.
Right,
But
and
you're right. You're right.
And not only do they beat him in an inspiring way,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
the Titan shows up, little kids, oh my god, it's a big Titan. Eren blows it up. Yay! Wow! Or they see Eren turn into another Titan. Like, is that another Titan? No, this one's a good
It's a
one.
hero good
There's
boy
a hero
Titan.
Titan. So not only is there a hero Titan, but the new queen just killed the biggest Titan of all time right in
Yeah.
front of everybody. They saw her do it. All very thankful. So it's like things are going way too well in a way that is very suspicious to me. Of like, this feels like it was meant to parallel the beginning with the Colossal Titan. More so, I think, than the very start of the show, paralleling Eren's first fight with the Colossal Titan in episode 4, when it shows up and he does the big face-off with it. Because we're in like the same kind of position, except this time the thing just doesn't even make it through the wall.
Yep.
They defeat it so easily. So it's like,
That thing was a big target, though. It
Yeah.
was a little bit of a fucking monster in a bad way.
it was a big like, look at how far our heroes have come. Look, they're strong now. This came not long after somebody said like, the Survey Corps' purpose, or all it's ever done is fail. Like,
Right.
like we have existed just to fail. Not this time. They succeeded. But the biggest reason it's suspicious is because something like this would normally be the end of a show. All the forces are in one place. We've narrowed our bad guys down to one super big bad guy. Like, where do you go from here? So like the fact that this feels so climactic makes it that much more like suspicious of what could this really mean, you know? But for now, it was just a fight with a really big guy.
But I mean, the answer to those questions.
Put a bunch of bombs in his mouth. Boom up.
But Eren like had a big sack of fucking of bombs that he carried as a Titan. Jumped in, detonated them. Like they haven't addressed this. Maybe they will next episode. But surely Eren, if the big guy got blown up, then Eren must have had to harden. They didn't even reference that. It should be mentioned how he survived that blast. But I'm sure it'll be that he hardened in some strategic way. So good thing you developed that power. That sure was useful for our purposes here. So the answers to all our questions, you know, like we saw at the beginning of season 3, they're beyond the wall. They're out there. We got to go find them because we've basically touched like the king. This is the king who turned into a big Titan. There's no one at a higher level inside the walls that we know of with any more information.
Knowing that like Eren's dad is dead,
Yeah.
closes some loot. Like anybody who you thought had answers is like either dead or gone somewhere, or like captured or something.
I appreciate that there's a theme going on here of like child overcoming their parents. There's of course the Historia thing of her, you know, getting a little validation from her dad, realizing I've got to be my own person. I can't just like do what my dad told me to do or whatever. And so she literally cuts him in half and kills him, gets the big victory. She's gonna be queen now. Eren like thinking that his dad was like a monster. Maybe his dad was actually a hero and was attempting to steal this power in order to set the world free because he knew the
just
royal
don't
family.
know.
We just don't know. That's all pretty cool. So I don't know. I guess I'm feeling a forward momentum, but things are going so well right now that you'd be foolish not to be suspicious of what's going to come next. So that's it. Next episode of Titan Week, we will finish part 1 of season 3. So
yes.
next 3 episodes. I have no idea. We're now past where I got in the manga at long last.
Holy shit.
I don't know what's going to
We're
happen
both
next.
going blind into the dark here.
I can't wait.
I can't wait because we got to get to season 4 so people can stop laughing at things that they see on their phone and then saying, oh, I can't tell you because it's a spoiler for Attack on Titan.
I see your stupid little comments hinting at the future. Fuck you, viewer. You should go to subscribestar.com/Cantent and show your support. $10 per month. Get the bonus episodes, including Attack on Titan Junior High. You know you want to see those wacky kids and their shenanigans. Buy a shirt. Survive Titan Week with us. It makes you impervious. And also, end of episode.